So just run through a few things to start with, I suppose, so everybody's on the same page. HCPSL mission, this hasn't changed. We've had for, I don't know, 10 or 12 years now. To facilitate an increase in productivity, profitability and sustainability within the herb sugarcane industry by providing agronomic and technical services. So that's what HCPSL does. Our vision, pretty straightforward, I think. Read it all to you, I'm sure you can all read. So you're HCPSL board members, myself as chairman, Greg Ercula as a grower member, Nicole Butler as a miller member, Peter Larson as a miller member, Ian Davies as a miller member and also deputy chair, and Gino Zada as the grower member. Company staff. So company works in two areas, I suppose you'd call it. So we have core staff, which are funded by you as the growers and the millers directly. So you can see who they are. The only change in there, as in a position, is Peter Timms, who's new to the company. Peter is our commercial services manager, who was employed about a couple of months ago, 3 months ago now. Nearly 3 already. Wow. Peter was brought on board to help to look after a lot of the commercial side of the business now. So with any business like this, we have there's a lot more governance and contracts and all that type of stuff. And this was loading Lawrence up. We felt this was just taking Lawrence away from what we employed Lawrence for, to manage the business and to do agronomic services and that sort of work that he's good at. So we've employed Peter to do that now, and that's working out brilliantly. Peter's been a real benefit to the business in sorting out all this sort of governance stuff. The other side of the business is the externally funded staff. So this is, most of those people are funded by GBRF under the cane project. The last two, Bethany and Megan there, are funded under the Catalyst project. I'll talk a bit more about that further on. So the highlights for the board, I think call them highlights, but what we got through for the year. So the financials were duly audited and a copy is available for viewing, so that can grab them from the desk upstairs from the reception desk if you would like to view those. Completion of a 5-year budget we've got, and that's where Peter has helped Lawrence a lot in the last few months. We've tried to predict what's going to happen over the next 5 years with our funding. And I'll go into a bit more of that later with why we've done that. And we've managed to hold expenses within budget for the 2022 year, which is getting more and more difficult as you know, you're all business people, you know what how expenses are rising. And we've approved the 2022-23 budget. The total budget has been set at $8.46 per hectare for each grower and the miller. So it's a total of $16.92 per hectare of CPL cane production area, of your cane production area. So turn that into cents per tonne, which is what most levies in the sugar industry are. If we harvest 4.5 million tonnes, it's 11.6 cents a tonne. Would be your levy. Just explaining a bit more about the core services, so that first group of employees. That's what you as the growers fund and the millers fund. And that's your fee for service, and that's what you get. And I'll go into a bit later on what you get for that fee. And Wilmar continues to be a member of HCPSL, and they fund the core service dollar for dollar with the growers. So for every dollar you put in, Wilmar put in the same amount. And I'm happy to say I think about 99% of growers in the Herbert are HCPSL members. So yeah, for every dollar they put in, Wilmar puts in the same amount. External funded component of the business is significant, and with external funding coming from GBRF program, which is what I just mentioned with all those employees, government projects, Soil CRC, National Land Care, and Project Catalyst. So they're the organisations we have funding from at the moment. Biggest challenges for the company going forward, and this is why, part why we looked at the 5-year budget, trying to do a 5-year budget and forecast of what we were looking at and where we needed to go and what needed to happen. The rising costs of operating, simple, we all have those. Pre-seed side of the business is especially challenging. This year we've produced nearly 4,000 tonnes of clean seed, not produced, we've delivered to growers, which is up from about 1,500 tonne last year. So a significant increase. You'll also notice there's been a significant increase in the size of the plots, seed plots, to be able to deliver that. So I think we've done, in the challenging year we've had with weather, I think the staff have done an extremely good job to get all that cane out there. And, well, growers have to get it in the ground, but to make that available for growers. The other challenge facing us, and this is what I was, the other reason for the 5-year, trying to look out 5 years ahead, the GBR project finishes in June 2024, and that currently funds 9 of HCPSL 16 staff. At the moment, and for the next year or two, and this is part of the other reason we need to free Lawrence up a bit, is Lawrence's job is to go and look for other opportunities to fund those staff and to keep them working with growers in this district. There's no certainty going forward securing continued external funding. We will try. Lawrence will be out there looking. There's opportunities there. We just, hopefully we can secure some of those and continue the business as it is at the moment. Program Rise Above. So we have 85, target 85 for 10 years. And so we thought after 10 years of target 85, we believe, it's hard to tell with the ups and downs of productivity in the Herbert, but I think we're definitely maintaining productivity. Hopefully we're helping to improve it as a business here at HCPSL to help. So we don't do productivity. We help growers maintain their productivity or improve their productivity. So we felt there was need for a new invigorated program. So we've called that program Rise Above, and driving productivity, profitability, and sustainability in the Herbert region, and that's what HCPSL is about. If you remember from the vision right at the start, so program Rise Above aims increase yield and CCS, recover more cane and sugar from harvest, maximise profits through effective harvesting, growing, transport, and milling. Empower and challenge industry to move to a productive, profitable and sustainable business. HCPSL sees its role as to lead and to empower growers. So with strategic investment, support to its members through the 5 key target areas. I'll show you those, and that'll give you a headache, unless you've got 20 minutes to sit down and read it. And I'm not going to read it all to you, but So it's on the website, yeah. All of this information, I think, is on the website. This presentation will be on the website. One of the things we have done this year is upgraded the website significantly. I think you'll find it easier to use, a lot more information there. So yeah, please go on and use it. It's a resource for growers. But yeah, the key target areas are clean seed and variety development, the obvious, agronomic and industry services, fairly obvious, sustainability and environmental stewardship, industry capacity, knowledge transfer, extension and adoption, all the things that HCPSL has been doing for many years, and strategic alliances with partnerships, industry groups, Kangaroo collectives, Wilmar, other productivity groups, SRA, government agencies, etc. So what services, I said before, core services that you pay for in your service levy, what are they? So, access to approved clean seed, of course, and hot water treatment services, access to the base station network we maintain, and quite significant improvements have been made in that base station network over the last 12 months, more now probably, 18 months. I think most growers will notice an improvement in services there. Variety advice, crop agronomy advice, fallow management advice, pest and disease management as HCPSL has always done, weed management advice, access to extension services and activities, newsletters, field days, etc. Biosecurity services, so harvester inspections, machinery inspections before and after machinery comes and goes in and out of the district, and basic drainage services. So that's what your service, your levy pays for. The other services offered user paid and externally funded. So things like soil testing, EM mapping, variety prescription mapping, drone services, water testing, those type of things are user paid. And then there's externally funded things like nutrient management plans, weed management plans. That's probably the main two that you get with, and the extension activities that come with those externally funded projects, which are open to all growers, not only those extension activities are open to all growers, not just the people in those projects. Budgetary challenges going forward, yes. Back to that 5 year sort of prediction, trying to look at where we're going to be and what we'll need to do to get there. Financial pressures. Significant cost of running the RSD testing service. As you'll know, the new testing service is far more accurate, can be done a lot earlier, more efficient, quicker and that sort of thing, so that better than PCM. The trouble is it's expensive because HCPSL a lot more to do that. One of the reasons of that is we're doing a lot more RSD tests, which is great. That means growers are using the services more, but that cost takes a lot more labour, and labour is expensive, as we all know, and difficult to get quite often in the casual labour department. And external funding in maintaining the levels and staffing levels and services. So at the moment, probably at this stage, the externally funded projects subsidise to some extent the core activities, probably a way of putting it. Most of those projects we make some money out of, we have a profit margin on those. And that so far has been the reason part of the reason that we've been able to maintain the core services levy the same for 8 years. So that levy hasn't changed in 8 years, and my rough calculations, CPI has increased by at least 20% in their last 8 years. So I think we've done a pretty good job there of maintaining that. The bottom line message there is that we can't continue to do that. We will need to look at some sort of service levy rises in the future. But we'll monitor that and we'll keep it as low as we can.